Alright, today we're going to be going over density and completing a worksheet on how to calculate density. So I'm going to briefly go over the note card we made earlier in this unit, density. So we have our formula triangle where we have density for D, M for mass, and V for volume. And our units for mass will always be in G for grams, and our volume can be in 3 different units. ml for milliliters, L for liters, or cm cubed or cubic centimeters. And this is usually when we're calculating a regular shaped object like the picture below. And there'll be some questions where you'll be given these 3 measurements and have to calculate the actual volume in cubic centimeters. And we just use this formula below. Alright, and then for density, density is what we call a derived unit. So it includes the mass with the volume. So grams per milliliter, grams per liter, or grams per cubic centimeters. And so when we solve for this, for density, it's mass divided by volume, which is also expressed in this equation over here. If we're looking for the mass, it's density times volume, in which we'd use this equation here. And then if we're looking for the volume, we would do mass divided by density, which is represented by this expression here. Alright, so on to our worksheet. Question number 1. So question 1 reads, a sample of seawater has a mass of 158 grams and a volume of 156 milliliters. What is the density? So in this problem, what you see that I'm doing is I'm underlining my given information and circling the part I'm trying to solve. So since I'm looking for density, we'll be using this equation here. Density is equal to mass divided by volume. So I want to show our work. So we're going to put D equals, and our mass, which in this case is 158 grams, and that's going to be divided by the volume, which is 156 milliliters. Okay, so with our calculator, we're going to go ahead and solve for the density by doing 158 divided by 156. And remember, when we get long decimal numbers, we want to just use 2 places after the decimal. So our answer would be 1.01. Now the correct unit, since we're solving for density, I was given grams and volume. This is, or grams and milliliters, this is what we're going to use. It's a derived unit. They don't cancel out, so we combine them. So it's 1.01 grams per milliliter. We'll go ahead and circle our answer. Okay. Question 2 will be another problem that we do together. So in question number 2, as we read, a cylindrical box with a volume of 200 cubic centimeters holds 432 grams of sodium chloride. Calculate the density of the salt. So again, we are looking for density. So we'll use the same formula. So we're looking for D. We're given a mass of 432 grams. That will go on top. So 432 grams divided by our volume, which is 200 cubic centimeters. And we'll go ahead and calculate that. So on your calculator, 432 divided by 200, and you get a density of 2.16 grams per cubic centimeters. Again, circle your answer. Alright, and then the last one we're going to do together is question number 3. Question 3 is going to look a little bit different than the previous 2. So I'll read. What is the mass of ethyl alcohol that fills a 200 milliliter container, and the density of ethyl alcohol is 0.789 grams per milliliter? Well, I'm given milliliters. I'm also given the density, which means I'm solving for the mass. And also says, what is the mass? So that's my new target, what I'm looking for. So in this case, I'm looking for mass, which means I'll be multiplying density times volume, which is also expressed here in this equation. So we'll write M equals, so I want to know my density. My density is, I'm going to use parentheses, 0.789 grams per milliliter. We're going to multiply it by the volume, which is 200 milliliters. Alright, so when I multiply those, 0.0789 times 200, we get a mass of 157.8. So in this sample, when we're looking for mass, the correct unit, if we look at our note card, is mass is always in grams. We can also check by canceling out like terms. Our milliliters also cancels out, so we're going to use what we're left with, which makes sense. Since volume cancels out, we're left with grams, and mass is measured in grams. So again, circle your answer. Alright, for the remainder of the worksheet, you have 3 sample problems that we did together as guided practice. You will complete the remaining front side of this worksheet, 4 and 6, as well as 6 through 10 on the back.